Hey everyone, how's it going? It's Brandon here. Just an update on the tank. Things are kind of taking a turn for the worst here, but I'm not going to, freak out. These cases like this, you gotta stay calm and do your research and figure out what the steps are that you need to take to take control of the situation. So being in the hobby long enough, I've learned patience and not to worry about these types of things. So first off, you can see on the rocks, you can see that green. It's like a neon green under the lights. That's some algae that has been forming on the rocks. I believe that's due to the lights. And because it's only where the light is hitting the rock directly where it's growing, like underneath there's none growing in the caves there. So I believe that's what that's from. The other thing that is going on is I've gotten a red slime algae outbreak here on the sand bed, and there's some on the rocks that you'll see there. Red slime algae is, if it's photosynthesis. It feeds off of light and nutrients, mainly nitrates and phosphates. Now, I did actually take my phosphate reactor out of here, and then I noticed this is when it started to happen. I had to take my phosphate reactor out because for some reason on these things they make those lids so hard to get off. So I haven't been able to get the lid off, so I'm going to have to keep trying at that because I need to change the media. But they make them so hard to get out of there. I sent an email to the company to see, if it's just a fluke one that I've got, and that if they can replace it or what. So let's talk a little bit about how to battle these nuisance algae here. Another thing is one of my peppermint shrimp have molted and got caught up in the vortex pump. So you see there, so I'm gonna have to get all that all cleaned up. So let's talk about a little bit how to get rid of red slime algae. I'm not too concerned about the green algae there. So I'll tell you about the steps that I've taken to control that, and that's where this is going to come into importance, is the vortex pump, because it's got some really awesome features. So we'll get to that in a second. But first off, what I've done is I've cut my photo period, so my lights, I've cut that back by 2 hours until I see some change in this. So I've cut it back by 2 hours. It doesn't harm the corals or anything like that. So 2 hours, I've put the lights back to shut off sooner. The next thing is water changes. You want to do frequent water changes. You want to siphon up the red slime algae from anywhere as much as you can get it out of there. You want to siphon that out, and then also your water change is also going to help with the nitrates and the phosphates as well. Although phosphates will come back pretty rapidly if you're not using any phosphate media. So you always want to make sure to have some phosphate media running. The next thing is the water flow in the tank. Now, I was running a wave in here. There was pretty good flow, but obviously not enough. So the good thing about the vortex pump is it's customizable. It has different modes. So right now I'm running it on the constant mode, and I can turn it up as high or as low as I want. I've just turned it down because the sand bed was starting to get too much disturbed. It was creating like a it was sucking up some of the sand in there. So I've turned it down a bit. But the cool thing about this pump here is it has the nutrients export mode, which kind of what it does is it creates an undertow. Has two different, it turns itself into two different modes. It has your flow, and then it does like an undertow kind of flow, which it moves everything from the sand bed and the rocks and exactly what it's meant to do. It's meant to export nutrients, and then they get like sucked up by your skimmer. So those are the main things that I am doing. I haven't. I'm not going to look into like putting any chemicals in to fight the red slime algae. This isn't the first time that I've had red slime algae. You know, the best of us get that. There's not much that you can do. I've had it even when I've been running phosphate media. So, but yeah, guys, that's just an update on the tank. It's going to be moving to the new house in, 10, 11 days now, so I'm not going to get too aggressive with it here. I'll focus on it at the new place if I can't get it to subside here, but I'm going to just keep up with my water changes and keep my lighting period back by a couple hours, and play around with the Vortex pump to get the correct water movement in the tank. Now the Vortex pump, there's lots and lots of different modes that I can go through, and I can turn it up. But you'll see here when I turn it up, things start to get a little, things start to fly around in the tank here. You can see see the sand coming up there. It's creating kind of like a tornado effect at the edge there. So I can't turn it up too high. But I can, I'm going to play around with the nutrients export mode. I haven't tried it out yet, so I've got to look in the manual how to set it up and, what the correct settings are. So that is all, guys. Stay tuned for some more videos. Actually, I've got something kind of cool coming up. Ecotech Marine was nice enough to send me out a bottle of their new coral glue, the gel. It's a 295 milliliter bottle, so it's a fairly big bottle. Retails for $49.95, I believe, US. But it looks pretty promising, and there's not many reviews out there for it. So why I say it's kind of cool is because I'll be one of the first out there to review it, especially one of the first that aren't, like doesn't own a website or first. I guess you could say from a customer standpoint. To review this product. So yeah, they were nice enough to send that out for me to review for them, and I appreciate that. So stay tuned. It should be in tomorrow. But I'll do an unboxing of it so you guys can get a look at it. And after the move there, when we get some more corals and I start to attach these corals, we will get the full review on it. So stay tuned, guys, for that. And happy reefing.